I was following the directions I was given, sir.
You said they said he wasn't commenting. How dare you? How dare you? You were paid by them, and you just came out and, what was that, a deposition? You said that he was waiting to shoot them like the video games? Of course. That's why they line up, is it not? So that the first one can take it and the others can take this person down? You said that it was best, that there was no way to go in. It was for their safety. It was not for the safety of children. How dare you? And you want the DA to give you a report for what? You have like zero reading comprehension. I know some of you, I have worked with some of you before I lost Lexi, and I am asking you to do what no one else has done yet, do the right thing. It is not about a recommendation, it's about doing the right thing. There were multiple law enforcement officers from multiple agencies that stood by for 77 minutes as children and teachers died, and I'm not going to stand by. There are a number of people that I would like to discuss, but today I planned on discussing three people. Three people who had the opportunity to go in 11:37. Before then, before 11:55, when you said, Pete Arredondo said, wait for the keys or wait to evacuate rooms. Three officers went towards gunfire. They knew what to do. They did that in the beginning. They went toward the gunfire, and then they retreated. Canales and Landry and Javi Martinez at the time were members of the department's SWAT team. They had active shooter training, and they knew what to do. They chose their lives over the lives of children and teachers, and there is no policy change will eliminate their fear and their hesitation to do what is right in the positions they serve, and for that they should be terminated. And if Lieutenant Javi Martinez cannot get a few people to follow him, how is he helping lead a whole department? I want you to think about the people that you love most in this world, your children, a spouse, a parent. You think about them huddled together in a dark room with a deranged person with an AR-15. Somebody calls 911. Help is on the way. Are these the people that you want responding to your loved ones? Guaranteed it's not.
There's no respectful law enforcement. Well, the hearings are going to be different.
We keep getting kicked while we're already down. It's just blow after blow. And all I heard today was it's the school's fault. It was some of the training instructors. Well, it's because y'all don't serve them, so you're fine saying it's their fault. What you're not fine saying is that it's y'all's fault. Do what's right, terminate them. Change policy. There are people in this department that can benefit from a policy change. They will learn, they will be better, and they will be able to serve. Even some of the ones there, I get it. They were a patrol officer that was there for a year, 2 years, is not going to take command of a situation like this if his higher ups are not. Train them, but these people, they have been serving for years. Nothing's going to change. There's no training, there is no policy that is going to make them put someone else above their own safety. Please do what is right. Please do what's right. Think about your loved ones. Think about them. These people should not be serving.
Mr. Rubio, would you like to speak? Okay. Ms. Mata?
You sat here and you said that you're doing what they told you to do. And that is exactly what you're doing. You are doing what they told you to do. How do all of you live with yourselves? How do you go to bed at night and then wake up every day. Shame on y'all. You said that they did it in good faith. You call that good faith? They stood there 77 minutes and waited. After they got call after call, that kids were still alive in there. All this is, it's a pact. It's a brother's pact. You protect your own. Well, you know what? We're going to stand here and we're going to keep fighting for our own because nobody else is going to do it. And you're not going to stop us.
Mr. Cross?
First of all, I can't even say that I'm surprised. I mean, like he just said, I'm doing what I was told. Obviously, y'all told him what to do, y'all told him what to say. And we already know this. Like, it's been 2 years. 2 years. But what I want y'all to do is I want you to look at AJ right here. Every single one of y'all. You too, buddy. You too. I want you to look at this child. Because this child survived. This child was shot. And he sat in there for 77 minutes while those fucking cowards did nothing. You said that that was in good faith. And I'm going to reiterate that point. Good faith. Good faith is 77 minutes. The true heroes are those that passed. Those teachers. The survivors are heroes. And I am standing here before all of y'all because my son was murdered. He is standing here before you because he was shot. He has more balls than this whole damn town. Every police in this son of a bitch, he does. So I want y'all to look at him. Look at him. Because Mariano Pargas won't. These other police, they won't. Y'all are in charge. You're in charge. And if you follow the recommendations what did he recommend? Oh, it wasn't our fault. Blame it on everybody else. Y'all been doing that. Y'all been doing that for 2 years. We are sick of it. We are sick of it.
Justice.
When is enough enough? When is the money not worth more than our children's lives? Actually, answer this, because we pretty much hear y'all every time that y'all get up and speak or do anything like that. Y'all are proverbially saying, "F our kids." Say it to him. Come on. I mean, there were no cojones shown that day. Do we have any to say it to him? And I know y'all are going to hide behind, oh, we can't talk and everything like that. But guess what? We can step outside of here and we can talk as well. I don't have any lawsuits or anything like that, so y'all can't even try that with me. So how about y'all find the testicular fortitude that was gone that day and actually do a damn thing?
Mrs. Ariola?
It's crazy to think that I sat up here for the first time, the exact same location with most of you guys. Sat up here and begged y'all, yelled, begged y'all to do the right thing because the families deserved it. And here we are, 21 and a half months later, listening to, I'm sorry, but a bullshit report. And, because we all saw it. And listening to somebody say, I'm not trying to get clapped. If it were my child, I would have breached right away. It's not doing the right thing. It's not, I'm sorry, but it's not. Listening to them sit there and say, shoot, that's a suicide mission. You signed on that dotted line. Those kids didn't. That's your suicide mission, but what about those kids? Those kids didn't sign up for that. They did what they were taught to do in their training, in their policies that y'all enforce at the schools. That's what they were taught, right? Well, what about the guys that had all this training? They didn't do what they were taught. How are they gonna sit there and say, oh, they were sitting there in the dark. They were so quiet, we didn't know they were there. That's what they were trained to do. Mr. Rodriguez, I've never addressed you with anything, but you put that man in charge, and I think it's time that you step up and take a little bit of responsibility for putting that man in charge and do the right thing and make some changes in your department. How are we gonna be able to trust your department if they did nothing to protect these children? You don't even have people that wanna come apply to your positions anymore because they don't trust what you have because they're still there. If they cannot protect children, how are they gonna protect them? Would you trust somebody that wouldn't even protect a child? Again, I addressed some of y'all. Mr. Smith, you weren't here at that time. But I'm asking y'all again, do the right thing. These children, the teachers, and these families deserve better.
Amanda Vargas.
My name's Amanda Vargas, and I was born and raised in this town. I have 5 children. 3 of them graduated here at UCISD. And I have 2 8-year-olds that attend Uvalde Elementary now. No. I need you to remember my 8-year-old son, because his name is Tristan, and my daughter, Jada. And I ask this, not so that if, but when this tragedy happens again, you'll know my children before their names end up on a cross. And y'all are sending thoughts and prayers my way the way we did with these 21 families. You know, they keep reminding everyone that the shooter, that he killed 19 children and 2 teachers. And the fact of the matter is, he did. This evil individual, he did. But a lot of them were left for dead by some of our law enforcement. And I knew in my heart, and I know that charges won't be brought against those who failed us that day. And I know that. In my heart, I know that. And I just want y'all to know, just please know, that I worry every day that I leave my little ones at school. And I pray and I wait. I wait for 3:30. For 3:30. I wait for that bell to ring. Because I know that some of them who failed still hold a seat. They still hold a seat in my community. They're still gonna be there. So I ask you as a native of Uvalde, and most importantly as a parent and as a mother who still have 2 children there, that these so-called leaders, they no longer hold that position if they cannot uphold it. And I'm sure you'll hear that I'm married to a law enforcement officer, my husband of 30 years. But you know what? You shouldn't take an oath if you can't honor it. Neve, Jacqueline, McKenna, Jose, Eliana, G, Uzai, Amory, Xavier, Jace, Tess, Miranda, Eliana, Annabelle, Maite, Lexi, Leila, Jayla, Eliana T, Rogelio, Irma Garcia, and Eva Mireles.
Ruben Zamora.
Good afternoon. My name is Ruben Zamora. Do y'all know who my daughter is? I think some of y'all do. My daughter was left for dead. Left for dead. And you said they did the right thing. I think right now you almost made me a believer in giving these officers a medal. I almost gave them a medal. I mean, I'm not trying to disrespect you or anything because that's not me, but it's disrespectful. I was sitting here. I rarely don't come to these meetings because I think there's more things in my daughter's life more important. But you left, or you told him to leave. We all sat here and let him read out whatever he had. I thought it was disrespectful for him to leave, and y'all let him leave. We're not gonna hurt him. We're not gonna hurt a police officer. It would have been done already. They need security. You know what to do. Danny, you know what to do. And if it's right, it's right. If it's wrong, it's wrong. I work in the oil fields. If I don't do my job, I get fired. That's right. Plain and simple. I signed up for a dangerous job. I know it's a dangerous job. And that's my job. I got to take care of my job. These police officers signed up to do a job. They didn't do it. I don't know what y'all can do other recommendations as well to Danny. I don't know, but something needs to be done because it's enough. It's enough, and thank you for whatever you did, but it was disrespectful at the end of the day, leaving the way you left. Because we all have questions. All of us have questions. We sat here, and I came from work, left work early to listen to this man, and he left. We have to be screaming and yelling for y'all to bring this man back. So that's all I have to. You have anything to tell?
All I heard was about policy that day. They followed policy. They did what they were supposed to do according to policy. But policy doesn't mean anything when there's lives at risk, and there was children's lives at risk, and that's what should have been considered. Not policy and not their own lives, because yes, they took an oath to protect and to serve, and that should have been what they did first, and that's what your investigation should have come back with. Did they protect and they served that day? No, they didn't. My daughter's alive today, but not because they went in, because she held on, because she was strong. Nothing that they did saved her life.
And I got one more before I step down, and I thank you for letting us speak. Our kids were trained to do shooter training. If y'all don't know this, they were trained, right? They follow policy. Did your officers get trained? I'm not talking about 3 months ago or 4 months ago. When they come into the law enforcement, are they trained? Yes, they are. So there's no excuse. There was lack of training. Because our 10, 9-year-old kids trained and they knew exactly what to do. The teachers knew exactly what to do if something like this happened.
They called 911 and they still didn't get help. Children called 911 for them to go in and they still didn't get help.
And I know it's a waste of my time talking, but I felt that I had to come and at least come and help them fight because my daughter needs us. But I need to be out here just so y'all can hear me and see who Ruben Zamora is and my daughter's name, Maya Zamora. And thank you. I don't know for why y'all here, honestly, but y'all gotta know, it's a joke. It's a joke. It's a joke. Our kids knew, 10-year-olds and 9-year-olds knew the training. Adults don't know it.
And even after your report, everybody knows the truth. Everyone knows the truth and the failures, and lives would have been saved. We would still have people today. We would have teachers and children here today, no matter what your report came back, if these officers would have done their job and their duty.
Laura Garza.
Thank God this is not 3 minutes. I've come up here and I've spoke here. I spoke at the city council meetings over there. I've spoke at UCISD. I've spoke everywhere. Every time I come up to this podium, I'm like, keep yourself composed because you don't want to act crazy. Oh no, today I'm going to say exactly what I got to say. I have never, ever, ever spoken towards or to Daniel Rodriguez because I always said he wasn't there that day. He didn't do anything wrong. You are doing something wrong. And I'm going to tell you exactly what I feel you're doing wrong. You left somebody in charge of this town. You hold this town in your hands, at least the safety part. You let this man who left, who was there, and her daughter, a child, was in that room on the phone. Because my niece tried to call 911 and she's no longer here. Her daughter, even after that, still had the courage to call and stay on that phone. And you left a man in charge who left. And he still is able to resign and keep his retirement and sit on commissioner's court and make decisions. How do you live with yourself knowing that? How? I don't understand. You, sir, I don't know. You sit in the same category as everybody else. They've had all their training and so many years of experience. What good did you just do all of us? Nearly 2 years we've waited for this. What did this do for us? Nothing. You're going to sit there in a chair next to everybody else who has failed us. Well, I'll tell you one thing. My niece is no longer here. And I'm not going to let people continue to fail her. I'm going to keep coming up here. And I am going to look you in your face and I am going to tell you, look at this child over here. You don't think he wasn't scared? You don't think he's still scared? And you want to talk to me about your officers being scared? That's exactly what they were. They were scared. Well, how do you think they felt? I don't understand how everybody can sit up here and live with themselves. I'm an adult. I go through pain, I cry, I miss my niece, but the children, they're gonna live the rest of their lives like this. The parents, Mr. and Mrs. Zamora are a prime example. They shouldn't have to be up here doing this. They should be taking care of their daughter, but they have to. And like you said, it might be a waste of time. You want to sit here and tell me lack of training, but then turn around and tell me Canales, who was one of the first ones in that building, is SWAT commander? How does that make sense? He's the SWAT commander, but they didn't follow the first officer in there because they lacked training? He didn't have a vest on. He had a gun, but he did not have a vest on, so he couldn't go up there and approach the door. And these kids, I don't understand how you can sit here and like basically excuse Vargas. It's a joke. It's a joke. And let me tell you something. After May 24th, all these cops, they hid. They hid. You never saw them anywhere. And now you have Max Dorflinger, Emmanuel Zamora, all up there with their face plastered all over town. And that's the type of shit we have to see. Why? Because it's people like y'all that make them feel comfortable in this town. It's insane to me. It is insane to me how you can sit up here and say that. And then we sit here, mothers about to throw up, listening to you say this, and then it's exactly like May 24th, I was told to leave. Max Dorflinger, I was just doing what I was told. There was 300 and plus officers there at that scene, and you're gonna tell me nobody could stand up and say, hey guys, I think this is wrong. Hey guys, I don't think we should stand up here. You wanna talk about prime example, Mr. Page. In his interview, because it's all over social media, everybody's seen it, says, I've been to so many active shooter trainings and never have I been in one where officers just stand around. Your own officers. And you don't feel anybody did anything wrong there? There is kids dead, teachers dead, children who survived in a class bleeding, teachers who are never gonna be the same, and you're gonna tell me nobody did anything wrong? Shame on you. Shame on you. Sometimes I think that we live in a world, it's like, are we in a dream? You've gotta be kidding me. I mean, if just my statement earlier does not contradict what you just said, Canales is SWAT commander, but didn't know to follow Martinez? And that's not a problem? These are the same officers that you still have. They don't know? You yourself just said how many times you breached, how many times in your career that you did so many door breaches and everything. You're gonna tell me that none of those officers knew how to breach a door? If you can't even get keys to a door, we got a problem. A big problem. And these are the same officers that are still here. If an emergency happens at a school, why isn't that a hazard? If there's a fire, you're gonna tell me the only way to get in is through a door? No? I mean, come on. This right here is just insane to me. And the fact that it's the blame game. Well, let me tell you something. You don't know who I am, but guess what I'm doing with my life? I have 5 children, and now I'm going to school to be an EMT. I'm gonna make a difference. I'm gonna make a difference. But let me tell you, when I go to school, what am I gonna be trained to do? If someone drops dead in cardiac arrest, you save them. That's your job. So I'll tell you something. I don't care if you're the president, if someone tells me, stand back, don't save their life. What? So if I'm an officer and someone tells me, don't go in a classroom, kids are dying in there, but don't go in. What? I don't understand how how you're not seeing. This is wrong. How you could sit up here and say what you just said. You know. You know. You all know. And it's like, oh, the families, they are crazy. Oh, I wonder why. I wonder why. This is insane to me. And I really hope that even though we feel like this is a waste of time, I pray that somebody that comes up in here says something to make somebody change their mind. I really do. I really do. But what you did today, sir, was a slap in the face. And you're wrong. I don't care if nobody else tells you, I'm telling you, you're wrong. My niece is gone. Gone. I will never see her again. And you're gonna tell me no one's at fault for that? You're gonna tell me that, oh, it was Pargas's responsibility to set up an incident command post? We're not gonna blame that on Arredondo, because he couldn't have been in that building and been over there at the same time. Somebody else have to have done it. Lack of communication. Since day one, we've been asking for the school board and the city council to meet, to talk, to come up with a plan, to work together, because then we come here and they say, oh, we have no control over the school board. And the school board, we have no control over the city council. That has yet to happen. It has yet to happen. Somebody make it happen. It's always, well, it's up to them. Well, it's up to them. This little security meeting that we have that you're a part of, Daniel, you can make it happen. You sit up there with the mayor, with the superintendent, make it happen. Somebody make something happen. Somebody be the person to say, today I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna speak up. I'm gonna make the change today. Somebody do it.
This is her voice.
Love you, Sissy. Bye. It's my birthday today. Love you.
Her birthday was a few days before the shooting happened. That is the last voice message I ever got from her. And for all of y'all, you're all cowards.
Ms. Martinez?
Hector, you have known me since I was little. We went to church together. Help me be the voice for my son. Help us all fight for our children and our two teachers. You, hearing your report, what you had to say, and saying that the blame was on the parents, the people that were in the crowd. We were willing to go into that school and get our children out, taking our lives for our children. You're saying that these cops they did it and don't need to be punished? My son's birthday is on Tuesday. You know how I'm gonna celebrate that? At the cemetery. I should not be doing that. I should be singing to him in his face, with his family, his little brothers and his big brother. That's how I should be singing happy birthday to him. But yet I'm here fighting with the rest of them and getting justice for our children. Danny, you've known my husband for years. You aren't the man in charge, but yet you say that you're proud of the officers that you trained, and they're all on Facebook before anything happened, on Facebook taking pictures with the SWAT team. We have a new SWAT team taking pictures. Where was that SWAT team on May 24th? They stood there, frozen, didn't know what to do. They were scared because it was their life. My son survived the 77 minutes fighting for his life. He was transferred by ambulance to Hondo, fought for another hour and a half. He was trying to come home to meet his dad and his family, but he didn't make it. Help us get change. Clean out this bad. Clean out this bad. Stop and stand up with us and say, you know what? These officers need to be gone. These officers need to be gone. Clean house. Help us.
Mr. Prado, all them breaches that you had, how many times did you have to be told to go in? Let's let that one sink in.
Pastor Myers?
That outbreak that you saw a few minutes ago, That's people being pushed to the brink. That's people being pushed aside, trying to get answers, can't get answers. Previous mayor, every time we would come to a meeting, nobody tells me nothing. I went up there with Mitchell, went over there, and nobody ever tells us nothing. I hope you're not going to be that type of a mayor. And you, John Wayne, have the decency to take your hat in reverence to the people. Have the decency to take your hat off in reverence to the families, to the dead children. I didn't hear you say nothing about reprimanding nobody. Nobody got reprimanded. Oh, his little ear. What about the children? They were caught. Come on, John Wayne, take your hat off. See, that's how you guys are. That's how you guys are. Just like McCraw. Oh, it was an abject failure. If this department had anything to do wrong that they failed, I'll step down. Freaking liar. Why doesn't he step down? I hope that comes out on the news and he sees it. And then the governor shows up here, and it's all his words of wisdom. He said, it could have been worse. It could have been worse. I've heard him say that several times on the news. With just one. That's more than enough. 19 children and 2 teachers. This lady right here, Emmy, she just posted the other day, 25 hours I can't sleep for PTSD. It was wrongly and falsely accused. She's trying to sell stuff to put food on her table to pay her bills, and the public school just kicked her out. And you didn't recommend nobody to get reprimanded. Turn in your badge. The meeting that we had there at the college, Mr. Moss, I have a lot of respect for him. He said, if it would have been me, I would have turned in my badge and left the state. These idiots are running for office with a big old smile on their posters. Come on, Mayor. Daniel, Mr. Lopez, that was right here. Did you know that your officers today, right now, are harassing them? Yeah, they're pulling them over, harassing them. You did know that, right? Today, they're doing it now. They've done it just a few days ago. They got video. Somebody, Mr. Mayor, somebody has to speak up. Somebody has to do the right thing. When we talked with the mayor before, he could never get with the school because I have nothing to do with the school, and the school says we can't do nothing with the city council. Somebody, please do something. Thank you.
Diana Carew.
Diana Olvedo Carew. I find it interesting that Mr. Prado, the very first part of his report, or from the questions that the attorney asked, indicated that out of all of the investigations that he's done, 75% of those he has found that there has been a problem. I'm very surprised that in Uvalde, our department fell in the 25% with no problems. It's very interesting. It's easy, I believe, to look at the policy that's in your books, to look at the statutes of the state of Texas in regards to police officers. It's easy to take those documents and find no fault. Because what I find in most of our laws is there's loopholes, an easy way to get around the things that we don't want to deal with. These parents have been waiting, this community has been waiting for 2 years now, almost 2 years, for resolution. And from everything that's been heard today, we're no nearer doing that than we were May 24th of 2022. I myself find it very difficult when Mr. Prado says that the reason an incident command post couldn't be established was because of crowd control. Parents trying to go in to save their own children and others when our police officers wouldn't. If I was that parent at that school on that day, I would be more than offended. Mr. Prado, I know you were hired, contracted to provide a service. You used the information and the tools available to you to put that report together. And realistically, at the end of the day, Mr. Prado's report is not the problem. The problem is our city allowing police officers to stay in their jobs when we all know that several of them should be terminated, others should be reprimanded, and whatever other course of action is available to the city as their employer to address these problems. And really, what the parents are asking for is do what's right. Maybe the rules say there's not a problem, but in the ethical and moral economy that we're all supposed to live by, do what's right.
Adam Martinez.
Hello. So why aren't y'all letting him answer any questions?
We're not going to have any interaction, Adam. You can go ahead and speak. Please do so.
He was able to ask questions, but we can't. We're the ones that need the answers. What's the point of asking things and not getting any answers? You know how stupid that looks? We're all here and y'all don't have to say anything at all? Did you think that was going to work out? Do you think that's going to bring people together? Any of y'all? Was that a good idea? Is it working out how y'all wanted it to?
It's not working out at all.
Can y'all answer some questions then?
Answer questions. I have no idea why he can't answer questions. I think he should answer questions.
So, why can't you answer any questions? Why can't he answer any questions? He answered your questions. Just advise him not to answer if it's wrong. This is a setup. You know what McLaughlin said? He said there's a cover-up, right? He said there's a cover-up. So was it a cover-up? Was he lying? Was he lying? Right? He said there's a cover-up. That's what this looks like right now. Are y'all going to be part of that? Are y'all going to be a disgrace? Or are you going to make Uvalde proud? No answers. We sit here, we talk. No answers whatsoever. Well, what's the point of that? That's not going to bring Uvalde together. You have to join the families. You have to join them. It's just going to keep getting worse.
After the meeting, I'm going to, myself, Mayor Pro Tem Zamora, the chief and assistant chief are going to meet with the families privately today. We'll answer whatever questions we can. We just received the report today. We had no inclination of what it said. So we'll answer what we have, and then I'm going to make a commitment that everybody's going to get the report, the families are going to get the report, the news media will have access to the report, and after we've had a week or 2 weeks or whatever, we will meet with the families again. Yes, sir.
So, why would you have an active shooter training if you don't have rifle-rated shields? Y'all have these trainings, but not the shields. then what's the purpose of the training if you're not going to go in? You don't have the shield for it. The policy requires that you stop the threat no matter what. Is that right? Yes. Did they stop the threat no matter what? How can you say they did their job? That's what you're supposed to do. Otherwise, you wouldn't have an active shooter policy because there's no rifle-rated shields. They're too expensive. That just doesn't make any sense. You said Guerrero told them to stand down, right? Man, he got there way after. He got there like way after, and then he didn't even know there was kids in there. He's like, wait, you got kids in there? That's not right, man. They had the opportunity to go in. And then Canales goes and says, oh, we got to go in there. He just keeps shooting. He was the SWAT commander. He says, we got to go in there. He just keeps shooting. Everybody heard that. So did he do the right thing? I mean, he said, we got to go in there. What did they do? They froze. They were scared. Did you see that part where he said, we got to go in there? Of course you did, right? And what about the body cam footage from the DPS? Have you seen that? Y'all need to answer if there was a cover-up. Don McLaughlin said there was a cover-up. We need to find out if there really was a cover-up. He said that. He said that for a reason, too. We need to find out. Because we're not going to come together if y'all keep on going on with the cover-up. You know, I was expecting to be able to ask questions and all that. I don't know why I was expecting that, but we sit here, we talk, don't get answers. Y'all have to join the families. You need to. That's the only way that we're going to come together. And accountability, they're not going to stop until there's accountability. You're not going to change our minds. You're not going to change the world's mind just because this guy comes out and says, oh, they did a good job. We all know they didn't do their job. You have to be accountable. That's what we teach our kids. That's what we have to do. You do that, Uvalde's going to come together. You don't do that, we're not going to come together. We're going to be divided.
Okay, we're going to go to action item 5C, consideration and action on waiving the attorney-client privilege concerning the independent expert investigative report regarding the Uvalde Police Department. This is going to allow us to give the report to the families. The news media, there will be a link sent out shortly that will allow y'all to access the report as well. Do I have a motion?
Make a motion, we approve 5C.
A motion by Mayor Pro Tem Zamora. Second by Council Lady Medina. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Passes unanimously.
Mayor, I'm requesting an executive session.
We'd already indicated that we weren't going to have an executive session.
I'm requesting an executive session.
Yes, sir, you can.
Okay, I'm the grandfather of Layla Salazar, right? You guys paid somebody to do the investigation. So in other words, this guy that did the investigation is saying that the investigation that the DOJ did was wrong. You paid this guy $100,000 for him to do his investigation, to come in here and just spit in our face. What kind of respect is that to these families? All of you that are sitting there, you sang at my granddaughter's, when we buried my granddaughter. She was the last one buried out of all these children. And you're sitting here telling us that we're supposed to respect the law that we got when they couldn't take care of our children. How come nobody can say anything about that they could not do their job and protect their children, but still the city lets them run again. Nolasco should have been fired. Mariano should have been fired. He shouldn't even be on the city council. But Mitchell protects them. And he won't listen. He says that. What did they do? Red Cross picked up, they threw him in jail. There's no reason for that when we're trying to voice our opinion on what happened here. And yes, McCaughlin did say there's a cover-up. And why? Because the district attorney that you got, which is a Republican district attorney, will not give the answers to the people that they need. I'm not a politician, but you can tell right off the bat that there's something wrong just by looking at who's sitting here. Now you tell me and these people what can be done about this. Because you got elected mayor for 1 year or whatever it is. Cody, I've known you for a long time.
Yes, sir.
But you've been disrespectful from the beginning because you are told not to give us any answers. And that's wrong. Because these people are waiting for justice, answers, and everything else. We can't bring back our loved ones. Layla was the only girl we had in our family. And that hurts me every single day. I cry for her. And I told her that I will fight till the day I die to get her justice. And I will do that. These people are coming up here and standing up for their children the way I'm standing up for my granddaughter, and the rest of the families that lost a child, and the survivors. Because when I saw that child that got shot, he was on a bus with the bullet wound in his leg. Was that the right thing to do? And this guy's telling us the police department and all that, they did nothing wrong? The DOJ was wrong? Is that what you're telling me? Everybody's got a copy of that. Did you read it? For him to come up here and just tell us that, no, you guys did nothing wrong, that's bullshit. Sorry. But it's fact, it's in the films, everything is there. So how can he say that you guys did nothing wrong? I don't understand that. You know, you look puzzled. And maybe now you guys can sleep on it and think about what needs to be done in this town, because it's a split town. And you're not going to cure it unless we get the justice we deserve. Thank you.
Yes, sir.